The average Rainbow Six Siege player has a really hard time picking the defending operators on each map. So what I'm going to do in today's video is I'm going to go over the best defenders for each rank, and I'm going to list off 5 defenders. Now keep in mind, this can vary from map to map, and it's just a disclaimer. This is just some operators that I would suggest playing mainly in these ranks, mostly because that's the success rate I've found with running these operators. Last season, I solo queued all the way to champ on controller on Xbox, and this is mainly what I was using. Let me know down in the comments some things you might agree with or disagree with, and, you know, be sure to watch my attacking video. Starting off with the bottom of the barrel, Copper. 5 operators I would mainly pick and I think is the best is Mute, Jaeger, Doc, Kapkan, and Valkyrie. Each one of these operators have their own special take, but most of them are vital. For example, Mute and Jaeger and Kapkan and Valk, and to be honest, Dog, you can use all of these operators universally. It doesn't matter what map you are, what site, all these operators can serve a purpose that's helpful. Not only that, they're very easy to use and very effective when used properly. Especially against Copper players, Kapkan can be lethal as heck. Valkyrie's always good, but your teammates might not get on cams, which might suck, or they might just not know callouts. Jaeger is really good for any type of utility that they might throw at your ADSs, and Mute just denies drones, so very basic operators, but overall effective. Next is Bronze, and my 5 is Legion, Rook, T-Bird, Melusi, and Frost. Now, the reason why I'm saying these 5 operators is because I feel like you can have either a universal effect or a passive effect, which means all these operators have an ability, even if you die, to have an effect on the round. So Melusi is one of the strongest defenders in the game, and you are able to basically crash out any random people that might try to just sneak in and be rats, because that's usually what Bronze players are on attack. They're just random and they're ratty, so it can get very frustrating to try to play up against these people. So Melusi is definitely going to be one of them. Same with Legion, and Legion just gets better and better as the round progresses. And same with Rook, because that extra HP is cool, and it's very easy to understand like how to use Rook, because you literally just throw down a sweater vest and then that's it. There's no complicated site setup, there's none of that. So these 5 operators are going to be super strong because you can just have fun and then not have to worry about shit. Next is Silver, and the 5 operators I would pick is Wamai, Aruni, Finir, Thorn, and Doc. Now, these 5 operators, kind of like Bronze, you can kind of get a whole area of effect. You can have a little bit more passive ability with Aruni and Thorn. But Doc, Finir, and Wamai, you need to stay up, and the longer that you stay alive, the better for the round. These operators all give you fragging potential, and that's honestly all you need in Silver to have a successful defensive round. Next 5 for Gold would be Kapkan, Caviar, Valk, Legion, and Frost. Now, the reason why I'm saying these 5 operators is because I feel like Gold players are a lot less coordinated than Silver players. Pretty weird, but it's like people in Gold have almost egos, so you can really make it work running an operator like Cav because of their lack of drone work. Valk is just amazing for intel. Kapkan can get you easy passive frags just like Legion and Frost. The more traps, to be honest, the better in this rank. Next up is Platinum, and I think the 5 best defenders would be Cade, Jaeger, Smoke, Aruni, and Frost. The reason why I'm saying these 5 operators is because unlike Gold, you are going to face more coordinated stacks. So running an operator like Jaeger and Cade is very needed for walls and just denying it. Especially with Thatcher always being banned, this is perfect. Smoke also allows you to have denial and to combat aggressive or passive players. What I mean by passive is a lot of players will either play super aggressive or they will not push until the last like 20 seconds. So Smoke is perfect for this as long as you can stay alive. Same with Aruni. Aruni's great because you can just kind of throw down her gadgets and then die, honestly, and you know you'll still be useful for the team. Same with Frost. So having a good mixture of these operators for usefulness and having to stay alive is a good balance, especially because you can play super aggro with all 5 of these operators if needed. For Emerald players, I would say the best defenders would be Azami, Solus, Legion, Finir, and Melusi. Now, when it comes down to Azami, you need to sit probably in a custom game or watch some YouTube videos or TikToks to really learn how to use her Azami barriers in a more complex way. But you can go about it with just using it almost like a shield, placing down a shield on certain walls, or blocking off common drone holes or lines of sight, which the attackers would have to, you know, have a good angle for you to block off. The thing about 4 of these operators besides Melusi is you have to stay alive long into the round to make them the most useful. So if you're one of those types of players who just die really early or want to go run around because they have ADHD out the butt, then 1, Rainbow Six Siege probably isn't for you, and 2, I would just suggest using Melusi. But Emerald is the rank where you're going to start seeing more complex strategies, but you're still going to see some idiots, which sadly that you'll still see that going into even, you know, champion. So just be sure to stay alive, use your utility, and try to play off positions off of your teammates, because every single one of these gadgets, including Finir, is best used for late round scenarios. Next is Diamond, and the 5 operators I would suggest if you're really trying to get into champion is Azami, Aruni, Mute, Wamai, and Finir. All of these operators are super overpowered if you know how to play them properly, and they're quite simple when it comes down to operators like Mute and Finir. But Wamai is best used as the round progresses, same with Azami and Finir. So you just have to once again keep your body up, because that's most important. You also have to try to use this utility to extend out into the map instead of just placing them around sight, whatever gadgets you're using. Because when you're playing in Diamond Elo, players are going to take map control very, very early. And as defenders, you need to try to be as contesting as possible. You can't just allow them to take early map control and then expect to win rounds. That's why a lot of you guys are losing defensive rounds. And that's why, honestly, a lot of you guys are losing attacking rounds. So when you're playing Aruni, Azami, honestly, any of these people in the lineup, ask yourself, how could I contest the attackers the best way possible? How can my utility further the round? How can I waste as much time with my utility instead of, you know, playing passive and playing only in sight? Because you might have just been like plat last season, but you're progressing now to the point where you're facing the highest ranked players in this game. So it's going to be pretty difficult for you guys to adjust. So just be sure to keep that in mind when you're defending. The very last rank, which is champ, and if you're making it into this far into the video, just like the attacking list, I'm going to give you operators I would suggest that you play just for fun, just to try it out and just goof around, because Siege is all about the creativity of the operator's utility. So yeah, use these 5 operators: Tachanka, Echo, Maestro, Ella, and Goyo. Each one of these operators in their own way can be very strong, especially Goyo, because Goyo has a 1.5 times scope. And do you notice how I never mentioned Warden on this entire list? Because he's not that good. People literally just use him for the 1.5 times scope. Sure, he could be a good counteractive operator to operators like Ying and anybody with flash grenades, but most of you guys aren't even using it for flash grenades. So use somebody like Goyo instead. Goyo is 20 times better. And Tachanka, he's one of those operators, kind of like Smoke, who gets better as the round progresses and kind of contests the attackers. But you can do like all sorts of goofy lineups and stuff, so that's really fun. Now, Echo is now a 2-2 operator, and you can get really funky with the way you play him. You can like put his drones outside for like 10 seconds, get a kill. You can even go outside and pick up your drone if you wanted to get that risky. And keep in mind, I'm just saying for fun. Same with Maestro, you can just do some wacky bubbles, and Ella is just a fun operator to run around with. Just like in the attacking video, I'm going to explain you need to have fun while playing Rainbow Six Siege. Just like you need to be having fun playing video games in general. If you're getting depressed because you're not getting a rank in a video game, that's wild to me. Literally just play the game for fun. Of course, progress, get better, want to get better, all of that. But don't literally make yourself depressed playing a goddamn video game. Wise words from Garfield, I guess. So I hope this video helped you in some type of way and directed you into what operators you should play. Keep in mind, this is coming from my own perspective, especially as a 5-stacker or solo queuer. I tried to make this as, you know, versatile as possible for these type of players, because I do get it. Siege is a very complex game, and especially a lot of you guys that are watching this video, you might be a little bit new. So yeah, I hope this helped. Be sure to like, sub, and comment, and thank you so much, guys, and have a good day.